Alright guys, the time is finally here. The 1990 pack is done. It is ready to go. It is in the download link in the description below. I didn't mean to rhyme, but that works. Uh, it's it's ready to roll, and you guys can get your hands on it today. There is, keep in mind, the little bit of video I am showing here of the tool. The tool has some updates that are not out as of the uploading of this video. They'll be out within a week. Is the plan, is the goal. So if you see something that doesn't look normal or like something that you have as an option, it'll be coming soon. But that said, if you've never used the tool before, if you've not used the mods before, if you're brand new here, then I'm going to point you over to the 2024 mod pack video. That one will take you through setting up the tool and all the initial stuff. It's going to be a lot longer than this one, but that one will take you through everything you need to know. I don't see the point in reiterating it yet with a new tool coming up to do a video on everything from setup. I'm also working on a website slowly to kind of spell things out a bit more, take you picture by picture and explain all the different elements in an organized manner that you could jump through it to what you want to jump to a lot easier than a video, and learn at your own pace a bit easier. So I'm working on that. It's going to take a while, but that'll be coming soon as well, so you'll be able to learn the tool that way if you've not before, or if you've used it before, maybe you could learn about some features that you've been afraid to touch or mess with. There's going to be another video upload that's super long. I consider it our podcast form, where I go through the paint schemes with a friend of mine who helped paint some of the cars, Falcon. He helped with a few things, and we go through all the paint schemes that are in the pack, and that's a lengthy video. We go into a lot of talking about things we like about the paints and about the drivers and about 1990 and a couple of cool little stories we know. So it's more of a podcast style episode with visuals. You can check that out probably in a couple days. That should be up, if not sooner. And otherwise, there's not going to be any paint schemes in this one other than the couple of clips that you see playing right now as I'm just rambling. But otherwise, we're going to cover a couple of things in the tool itself that are a bit specific to the 90s mod, or just things I want to go over and mention, for this pack versus any others. First up, when you load the 1990 Cup core pack after you've unzipped the files and placed them where they need to go, again, refer to the 2024 video if you're not familiar. If you want to run the 1990 season through as one career, and you want drivers to retire and change rides and things like that, then you'll want to uncheck this override birth and rookie years option at the top. If you don't uncheck that and you want to be able to run 1990 and then switch to the 91 pack when it's ready, and then switch to the 92 pack when it's ready, and so on, then you'll want to leave it checked. And I actually recommend changing these birth date and rookie years, and every season you're going to want to update them by one as well. So I'm setting them to 1970 for birth year and 89 for rookie year, just as far as the overrides. Now, rookies should still work outside of this. Like the drivers that are rookies in 1990 should be rookies in the mod tool, even if you set this override. It's not actually based on the rookie year for some reason. It's based on other data, which gets changed by the tool. But if you want retirements and all that, uncheck it. If you want to be able to switch through the packs, then keep it checked so that nobody retires, because that can mess up the data later on. The other thing you'll want to change on this main page is the career year override, and you only want to do this when you first start career mode. You do not want to do this after, really, as long as you remember to uncheck this before you finish the season and run the tool again through generating the PNATCH file, then you should be good. But for the initial start of your career, you'll want to check this box so that your career is set to 1990 to start. And once you save your career mode onto the memory card, it'll save as 1990, and then you no longer need that box checked. And you should be good through the rest of the career. The schedule I do have updated, though I did notice a bug with the tool, which will be fixed in the future update, but I just want to point it out so you guys are aware of it. The 100% lap override is a little messed up to where when you load the tool in or the pack in, it doesn't do the output. It doesn't change the output laps based on this field unless you delete the value and then re-enter the value. So if you want the laps to change, essentially when you're about to run that race, you want to run the tool through again with the laps changed and you should be good. But that will be fixed in the update, which is again coming within a week hopefully. As for the schedule itself, the only real change I have for 1990 is we don't have North Wilkesboro. I was going to put another Richmond race, being that Richmond's as close to North Wilkesboro as any of the tracks that we have available. However, Richmond already has 2 races, so I thought to put New Hampshire in its place, since New Hampshire has 1 race and is a track that isn't utilized as much as Richmond is. So I figured that's a unique enough one and about as small as we can get, or about similar pace to Wilkesboro as far as corner speeds and stuff. I think Wilkesboro's a little slower, but that's still comparable enough. I think that's a good equivalent. If you want, you can remove it and save the schedule out and the core pack so that it uses that your own schedule. You don't have to use what I use here. Last thing on the Finalize tab, don't worry, your guys' car numbers won't be messed up like mine are in this video. They're good on the 1.4 version of the tool, and they'll be fixed by the 1.5 when that update comes out. I just had a little bug that I did not get a chance to fix yet. It's nothing major. So my car numbers are messed up there in that column, but they'll be fine for you guys. The only thing really with this page is just a reminder. You may want to change who's part-time or fantasy or full-time for drivers you don't want. Set them to fantasy if you or even disabled if you really don't want them in the game or in the pack at all. And drivers you definitely want to have, set them full-time. They'll make every race. Drivers you want to be able to miss some races, make some races, set them to part-time. You'll see I have the Road Ringers, a couple of the Road Ringer drivers set to fantasy, so that when you come to those tracks, you can set them to full-time, so they definitely make the field. However, keep in mind I did put some low-ranking values, or I should say high-ranking values, higher points position values for those drivers, so that when they run the road courses, they are faster than what their season stats equate to. Because obviously their season stats weren't great if they didn't run the whole season, so it's a little unfair to judge it based off of that. So their stats, if you put the road course ringers on part-time or full-time for the whole season, then you may want to make a change to this and do an S-rank override field there, or just change one of the CSV files that have the point stats for 1990. Because I have them set to 7th for 2 of them and 15th for another, and so on. So those guys will run really well when they're active, regardless of what track it is. But if you only use them on road courses, then you don't need to change anything. But if you use them for other tracks or leave them part-time and let it be, come to chance as to whether they're in the field or not, then no, they're going to perform really well and better than they probably would have in real life if you don't change those stats around. Also, there are 2 drivers for the number 21 sit-go ride, which is Neil Bonnet prior to getting injured, and Dale Jarrett was his replacement after. So you'll want to set, if you don't want 2 21 cars out there, you'll want to set one of them to full-time or part-time, whatever you prefer, and then the other to fantasy or disabled, so that they don't end up in the mix. Or you could change it mid-season. You could start the year with Neil Bonnet through Darlington, and then match real life. That's when he got injured, was Darlington, and then you could put Dale Jarrett in the car after Darlington and disable Bonnet, or send him to set him as fantasy after that, and that will allow you to run the season accurate to what the roster was at the time. There's also Hut Strickland and Mike Alexander in the 12 car. Mike Alexander ran the car very, very early season. I don't remember if he ran it at any point after Hut took over, but Hut Strickland ran the car, I believe, the rest of the year. after Mike. There might have been another. I'd have to look it up. But if you want to run accurate to real life, you could start with Mike for a few races and then switch over to Hut Strickland. Now, I didn't do that for every case. There were many mid-season driver swaps in 1990. Ernie Irvin's another good example. He ran the number 2 car for quite a few races, and Phil Parsons was in the Kodak car, number 4. And after, I think, 3 or 4 races, Parsons got fired from the 4 car. He runs a few races in number 29 later in the season, and Ernie Irvin left the 2 car to drive the number 4. So that'd be, quite a lot of swapping. So I pretty much put everybody as what they drove the majority of the season in, if they had an outstanding one. Rick Mast switched between the 22 and the 2, which is the same team. So he just has both of those paint schemes, and it'll automatically swap if you have randomized on. Now, the reason I didn't do all the way down to every single driver that drove every car is because, just for example, the number 2 car alone had, I believe, 9 or 10 different drivers. So to set that up and to have to disable and enable 9 or 10 different people all the time would be a real pain. So I thought I'd just kind of narrow it down to the major ones, which were Neil Bonnet getting injured, Jarrett taking over, and Hut Strickland and Mike Alexander in the 12. Those were the 2 big ones that happened on the year. The rest of them, pretty much just majority is what I set it as. But you can customize it and change it up and make it what you want it to be if you really want to get involved. Though you'll want to refer to the advanced tutorial for now, or wait for the website to be up and available to learn how to do those more advanced steps of swapping drivers and paints and things like that. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. You're ready to download and play if you've already used the tool. If you've not used the tool and you got this far in the video without checking the 2024 and learning how to use the tool, then please go check the 2024 video. By that, I don't mean the video I released in 2024. I mean the 2024 mod video, the one where we have the 2024 Cup cars and drivers. That video is probably the most recent and best start to finish guide of how to set up the tool and install a pack and use it. So I didn't need to redo all that recording and all that setup. I feel like that one's still applicable at this point. So just go ahead and refer to that video if you need to know how to set up. But otherwise, you guys are ready to play the 1990 mod today. There's also templates for paint schemes. Do note the sponsors. I forgot to mention the sponsors in the game, or in the mod. There are sponsor offers that will be different than what's in the base game. It does not, unfortunately, there is no way to replace the logos that go on the car in the game automatically when you select them. I can only replace the logos in the menu and the text in the menu. So your sponsor offers will be different than the base game. They'll be 1990-esque, and you can go off of that to paint your own car, which I did for my career. But you guys can go off of that, download the templates, and I think I cover in that same 2024 video how to replace the career car. If I don't, it's probably in the player tutorial video. I might cover that. I don't remember if I covered that or not in the 2024 video. If you run into trouble, just hit us up in the Discord, and we can point you in the right direction for sure if you need specific help on one issue or another. Other than that, though, guys, I also want to note I'm going to be streaming probably tomorrow night, Sunday, February 2nd, before the Clash. I'm probably going to be streaming 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I know the last chance qualifier is at 6, but I'm going to stream from 6 to 8. And next weekend, maybe, and then future weekends, I'm planning on streaming Saturday nights. I'm going to be playing my career mode through time. So starting in 1990, running the races through to hopefully eventually all the way up to present. But starting in 90 and starting this weekend, tomorrow, I'm going to be running that career mode. So if you want to come check that out, you can check out my Twitch page, or I'm going to try to simul stream to YouTube, though I haven't done that yet. So we'll see how that goes. But either way, I should be streaming to both channels, and you could check it out on either one. If I can't stream here on YouTube, then I'm going to at least put the videos after the fact over here, so you could still check them out if you want to watch some gameplay and, you know, if you enjoy watching that sort of thing. But if you're just here to play the mod and download the mod, then you're already tuned out. So either way, thanks guys for the support. Let me know what you guys think of the mod and whether you're enjoying it. If anybody runs into issues, let me know that as well, and I'll get them fixed as soon as possible. But pretty much that's going to do it for this video. That's going to do it for this mod preview. Again, there's going to be a long, lengthy video where we discuss 1990 a lot more and cover all the paint schemes. Also, shout out to AC Racing for some of the help for the paint scheme stuff he supplied. He made a 1990 pack for NASCAR Racing 2 recently, or NASCAR Racing Classic is kind of the modded version of that that's been recently released. If you're into the old Papyrus games, that's something else you guys should check out for sure. But AC Racing was kind enough to just straight up send me the files he had for NASCAR 2, which gave me some decals and some car numbers and things. Saved me a lot of time and effort, which is why I'm able to get this done a little bit sooner than it was looking for a while there. So shout out to him as well. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you guys probably either at the stream or with an update video for the tool in about a week.